Merry Christmas, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Dulcimerica. My name is Futch, and that is Cantique de Noel, also known as Oh Holy Night. And it is off of my album Christmas Each Day, released in 2008. That is an arrangement that is inspired by a great version of the tune that's featured in holiday illuminations at Walt Disney World's Epcot. So I'd like to teach it to you now. This also can be found in my book, Mountain Dulcimer and the Band, Book 4, the Christmas edition. We're going to start off with an arpeggio out of D major, and we're just coming across the strings. We're coming in on that F sharp there, the second fret on the melody string. We're going to pull off from there and come back across. And that sets us up for the beginning of the tune, and also when we are marking time during in between bits, in between passages. So we're marking time with our arpeggio, and the pull-off's real nice. You don't have to hit it all the time, or all the notes coming across. You can kind of leave a couple out there. It's got a really nice rolling feel to it. Then we get into our melody. Partial chords here, partial G chord. Now the ring finger, and you're going to see a lot of fingers that are sort of hidden, even with our above camera view. But I'll try to explain to you what's happening behind the scenes here. This ring finger is coming in, and it's handling a partial bar here at the 3rd fret, so we can come up and go. Here's my partial, and then right down below the ring finger is in there, so when I pick my thumb up, that note, one of our melody notes, can already be hit. So I go. Then slide the partial up to a partial D chord. The ring finger, definitely MVP in this, is going to come down here to the 4th fret and get a partial D chord as well. Then I'm going to come down and do this. That's the melody. A couple of things. I do a little hammer-on pull-off thing there. But I do it, I think, a little bit differently every time. Sometimes I use the thumb to come down. It's the same concept, different fingers. So when you watched me playing through it the first time, and then watch me teaching it, I always teach it with different fingerings depending on how I'm thinking through. Does that make sense? How I'm thinking through the piece. If I'm in performance mode, I use the same fingerings. If I'm teaching it, I'm thinking about things, and so I'm using different fingerings sometimes, but you've got both for comparison, and your fingerings may vary anyway. So we've got that. And all of the time we're doing these melodies, we're just putting in some really tasteful partial arpeggiations and things behind it. And sometimes that involves maybe even just hitting the bass string to sort of keep the perpetual motion of the music going. So partials coming here. Ring finger once again comes in at the 1st fret for our melody, and then down. Okay. Our arpeggios, we're going to go back into this now. I want you to be careful about this. Very specific about the fingering here. Is when I come back up on the melody, Oh Holy Night. Okay. The first time through, pretty sure I used my thumb. This time through, use your ring finger. That's been MVP for a reason. It's going to be part of the bar that is formed across the 2nd fret when we go from D to F sharp minor. So of course you want to use your thumb up here. It'd be very awkward to try and play that with the thumb. And then to get those fingers down in place quickly enough to form the L-shaped chord for F sharp minor. So go ahead and just use your ring finger and just lay the rest of your fingers down. We come up to G now. Lift the thumb because the bar is complete, so we'll hit our melody note with the ring finger. Okay. Now this is tricky. We're going to come up to a partial D chord. Ring finger comes down and hits the 4th fret again. Partial D once again. Now we're going to get the index finger in the 6.5 fret. Pulling off our melody note, our lead-in note coming from melody, going to the middle string on the 6.5 fret. Then you lift up your index finger and your next melody note is there at the 5th fret. So that whole sequence together. Okay, this is hard. This is very hard. Getting up to play the bar at the 6.5 fret like that requires some careful planning on your part. Getting your fingers and knowing where your fingers are coming from and where they're going is fairly easy, but getting there is a whole different story altogether. So coming from... Also notice I did a little back swipe on the bass string, just sort of a little note by itself. It could count as an arpeggio, but it counts as whatever you want it to be. Okay. So here we go. See, that time I didn't do it, so never mind what I'm saying. So we go. So what you want to do is basically you want to quit that chord and not try and drag anything up. You're going to hit a whole bunch of extra notes there. You want to get in there and do your... And with the right hand, the heel of my hand, I'm doing a little mini mute right there and just stopping the string so we don't get any ghost notes or anything. When I pick the fingers up, get them into play, and then lay them down. Coming from the bar at the 6.5 fret now, you'll be relieved to know that the melody is going to be on the middle string. So we can just go. And then to the middle melody string. So, middle, middle, melody. That includes what we're barring at the 6.5 fret. And this is tough, and if you go back and watch how I perform this at the opening of the episode, you'll see that I fudged this note. There it is. It's a glaring thing. It's very, very tough now. We have to go from here to here. So I had like a little, I don't know, I had kind of a dud note there or something, but you're going from the 6.5 fret bar to a 2 bar, and you don't have a lot of time to do it. Try if you might to get that note. I know there's another way I can be doing this, but this is the way I tabbed it out for the book, and I know a lot of folks have been asking, sure, how do you do that? So it's here. So you will get a whoosh of fretboard noise in there. But if you're pretty light-handed about it, which I am not, you'll probably get away with not having too much fretboard noise going on there. Okay, arpeggiate your way out of your bar, F sharp bar. You'll be happy to know the rest of this is pretty easy. We're going up to the 4th fret now to bar our A, melody string. So, middle, melody, then we're on the melody without the bar. Once again, notice I'm using my ring finger on that melody string so I can hit my melody note and then come in with the bar. Also good because for our next move, the index finger, we're going to leave the ring finger where it's at, and the index finger is going to come all the way up to the 6.5 fret. Now if these stretches look ridiculous for my hands, and I have pretty long fingers, it's because that this Dulcimer, Buttercup, has a 29-inch scale length. So yes, I'm stretching a bit out of my comfort zone, but I love the sound that you get with a 29. So even if you don't have big hands, this will not be as much of a stretch for you on a standard VSL. So we're going with that stretch there, and then the middle finger comes in to hit this next note on the melody string, 5th fret. The thumb comes over and gets 6.5 fret. So once again we're coming out of see, in that case, I'm actually using my ring finger to slide up, thinking things as a performance as opposed to a demonstration. So, again, we're coming from thumb indeed comes in right there at the 6.5 fret, and then we form ourselves a nice little B minor L shape. Now here's where some real tricky technique comes in. This next part, coming from the B minor, we've come back into our arpeggios. And you can very easily change the chords and arpeggio through them if you pick the notes one at a time. Watch again what I do. I'm coming from a B minor, and I'm going in to an F sharp minor. So we're going to go like this. See how I laid those fingers down? Came up off them nice and quiet, and get back down into there nice and quiet, so you don't have any interruptions as far as the chord change is concerned. Very minimum amount of string talk. Now I like to hit this, which is basically a G chord, but our melody note is up here at E. So we come out of B minor, and we're going to change to an F sharp minor, and we're going to do that by way of arpeggiating, so that we don't really notice what's going on with the chord change. You can get your fingers into place without having any kind of ghost notes. A very minimum of ghost notes. Glasnost. Yeah. With a very minimum of ghost notes. Ghost notes are when you take your finger off a string and that string sounds. It can be considered a pull-off, but they're the sympathetic rings when we're moving our fingers around. So we want to avoid that and hit this one at a time. I hit that E minor right on. Ring finger comes around the back to hit our melody note coming from the 5th fret. Back to our B minor. And you want to go to your middle string here for your next part of the melody. So into a partial D, partial G, or a suspended D, a little partial G there, into a partial D, bar, feel with your arpeggios. So we come out of our partials here, the thumb is going to come up from the 6.5 fret, and it's going to walk up and form part of a A chord, A slant chord. So we walk up, arpeggiate through that. The ring finger once again sneaks in back here to 6th fret. It's going to be laying a G natural in there. So we can pick the index finger up off the 7th fret and we have a little A7 change. Okay, and we're going to arpeggiate through that, and it's going to feed nicely into our next sequence, which requires some kid gloves or kid fingers, as the case would be. So we're coming from here once again. Index finger comes back down for our next melody note, and then we need to come up here, way up here for a high D slant chord. Instead of trying to hit that all at once, I like to hit just this note and then walk across like we did with the F sharp minor. So we're going to go like this. Very, very pretty stuff going on there as we get into a G suspended chord from our D. So once again, if you just walk nice and easy across that, that'll give you a chance to reach up with your thumb and nail the A, and then you can go ahead and put the rest of that in there. So one more time. Partial. Now take your fingers off the strings nice and easy as you walk down. So you get some ghost notes. What I tend to do at that point, when I get up here and do this suspended G suspended chord, I come in again with the right hand, palm mute, and silence those strings, and then pick them up when I'm ready to come down. So it's into our partial D. We get some parallel harmonies right here. It's all gravy from here. And there you have Cantique de Noel, also known as Oh Holy Night. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate you guys. And I very much appreciate all of you out there who contributed during the Dulcimerica pledge drive. Everything is going out this next week, and I've had a lot of fun putting them together with the assistance of our new kitten, O'Malley. And we've just been having a great time. Enjoying the holidays, as I hope you will too. And I hope if you're deciding to go out and play some of these tunes in this Christmas season, that you'll take this one into consideration. Once again, it is featured in Mountain Dulcimer in the Band, Book 4, and on the album from 2008, Christmas Each Day. I wish everybody a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and I forget, what is this playing? That's awesome, isn't it? So, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Until next time, thank you for watching. This has been Bing Futch for Dulcimerica. Oh, come on, we want closure. You can't end it there.